Martha sat on her porch in Charleston, sipping sweet tea and watching the fireflies. At 68, she had worked 40 years as a nurse to pay off this Victorian home and build a comfortable nest egg. Since her husband Frank passed 3 years ago, her son David had become unusually attentive. David, a high-flying real estate agent in Atlanta with a taste for luxury cars he couldn't quite afford, began visiting every weekend. He wasn't there to mow the lawn. He was there with paperwork. "Mom," he'd say, leaning over the kitchen table, "with your heart condition, we need to make sure the estate is protected. You don't want the government taking this house if you end up in assisted living. Just sign this update to the living trust." Martha wasn't as frail as David hoped. She noticed he always covered the top half of the documents with his hand. She also noticed his wife, Brenda, whispering in the hallway about remodeling the kitchen once they moved in. Martha's gut told her David wasn't protecting her. He was erasing his sister, Sarah, a dedicated but low-income schoolteacher, from the will entirely. One Tuesday, Martha visited her old friend Arthur, a retired estate attorney. He looked at a copy Martha had sneakily photocopied. "Martha," Arthur sighed, "if you sign this, you're transferring the deed to David immediately. You'd be a guest in your own home, and Sarah gets 0. It's a total grab." Martha didn't scream. She didn't call David. She went to the local electronics store and bought a small, voice-activated recorder hidden inside a decorative, "World's Best Grandma" picture frame. The following Sunday, the trap was set. David arrived with a fresh pen. "Last chance to get this sorted before my business trip, Mom," David said, his voice dripping with fake concern. He left Martha in the kitchen to think it over, while he and Brenda went into the study. The hidden recorder in the picture frame on the desk captured everything. "She's going to sign it," Brenda hissed. "Once she does, we list the house by Friday. We can tell her the taxes forced the sale and move her into that place on 4th Street. It's cheap, and she won't know the difference until the papers are filed." "I feel a little bad about Sarah," David muttered. "Don't," Brenda snapped. "Sarah chose to be a teacher. We chose to live well. It's just business." Martha walked in, her face a mask of calm. "David, I've decided. I'm not signing." David's face turned a shade of purple. Martha hadn't seen since he was 6. "Mom, you're being senile. You're going to lose everything." He began a rehearsed rant about her mental health and her inability to manage her affairs. Martha simply picked up the picture frame and pressed play. The room went dead silent as Brenda's voice echoed, "We list the house by Friday. Move her into that place on 4th Street." David reached for the frame, but Martha stepped back. "I've already emailed the digital file to Sarah and Arthur," she said, her voice steady and cold. "And I've made a new update to my will. Since you're so worried about my business sense, I've left the house and the accounts entirely to Sarah. She actually knows the value of a home. She opened the front door. You have 10 minutes to pack your things. Don't come back unless it's to apologize to your sister. And David, tell the BMW dealership I won't be co-signing that loan." As David's SUV peeled out of the driveway, Martha sat back down on her porch. She felt lighter than she had in years. The house was quiet. The legacy was safe. And for the first time, she truly understood the value of silence